Hey y'all, this is Marla K. Hope everybody is doing well. Got this story that I want to share with you, and it's really important because this act could be used to target us, to either put us back into slavery here in the United States or in El Salvador. Um, you could accidentally be picked up and taken out of the country, and then once you're taken out, the Supreme Court has ruled that this administration doesn't have to come back and pick you up. They don't have to come get you if they make a mistake. So you need to be paying attention. You need to keep your papers with you at all times. And you need to be mindful of what you are doing everywhere, what you're saying. Keep in mind, everything we got that's smart listens to us. Keep in mind all your comments that you type. If you're not talking in code about some stuff, then or I would just refrain from talking about anything. And if you got the energy and the time to go back and talk, um, to go back through your old post and figure out what you said and didn't say, power to you. I ain't doing that shit. It is what it is. You got to put your neck on the line. You got to you sacrifice and give up your life, or you got to try to save it. And we know these times were coming. A lot of us are going to be persecuted because of our views, because we are telling the truth, because we are laying the truth out here, and we're not sugarcoating anything, and we are fearless. So, this is crunch time right now. And I want to share this act with you, and I'm going to leave a copy of the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 in the description so that you can read it. You need to understand what can be considered um, an enemy and what is considered sedition. In some areas, it's really vague, and the broadness or the vagueness of some of the language is what will allow you to be doing something, and an agent of some sort comes to whisk you away, take your phone, and you have no way to communicate with people, and you have to go wherever they send you. So it's not a good thing. But anyway, Supreme Court allows Trump to continue using Alien Enemies Act of 1798 to deport immigrants. So it says the Supreme Court on Monday gave the Trump administration the green light to use the 18th century Wartime Alien Enemies Act to expel Venezuelan immigrants and asylum seekers, but said that any target for removal must have the right to a court hearing. Last month, the Trump administration sent 3 planes with 238 Venezuelans to El Salvador in defiance of a judge's order. They were then transferred to a maximum security mega prison. On Monday, Chief Justice John Roberts also temporarily stayed a lower court's ruling which ordered the Trump administration to bring back a Salvadorian father to his home in Maryland after he was wrongly sent to the Salvadorian mega prison despite having protected status. Later in the broadcast, we'll get an update on the case of Kilmar Abrego Garcia, whom the administration claims it's unable to bring back to the United States. Meanwhile, the loved ones of Andre Hernandez Romero, a gay Venezuelan asylum seeker who was also expelled to El Salvador, say they fear for Romero's safety at the notorious Secot mega prison. Romero appears to have been removed because he has tattoos of crowns, one on each forearm, with the words Mom and Dad. Experts say tattoos are not an identifier of membership in the Tren de Aragua gang, as immigration officials falsely claims. So you could have tattoos on you, and if they're the tattoos that suggest you belong to some bad something, they will whisk you away, depending on how you look. So y'all need to be paying attention to these little subtle things, because it's easy to say, oh, that's not us, because it's targeting a certain group of people. But everything is practice for when they get to our asses. And that's what I can't stress to y'all enough. Everything is practice. Everything is practice. What's going on over there in the Gaza Strip is practice. What's going on here right now with this act is practice. What's going on with this stuff about segregation? It is practice. What is going on with these rights and laws being repealed to protect, you know, us, but it is being used to, they're using these laws to right now shuffle out some of the people who have been protected or hiding in stuff for us. But no, they're coming for us. So we have to be prepared for this targeting. And you got to get your head out of the sand. You got to pay attention to these executive orders. You got to pay attention to the court rulings. It's so much stuff happening. So much stuff is being buried. So much history is being erased. So much history is being repeated. And people don't get it because we're bombarded with trash and propaganda all day, every day. So make sure you are really keeping up with what is going on, because this is what happened during the when they came and collected the Asians. So this is the Alien and Seditions Act of 1798. So it says, passed in preparation for an anticipated war with France. The Alien and Seditions Acts tightened restrictions on foreign-born Americans and limited speech critical of the government. I'm concerned about the limited speech critical of the government, and that's what I talked about in the other video. Uh, and then this piece where, they're instituting this in preparation for war, when really they're not telling the people that we're already at war. So when you start seeing them implement these things, these acts, you have to know they're already at war. They've already declared a national emergency. Several, they institute this Alien and Seditions Act, and then they start doing all these different things. We are at war. We're preparing for the hot part of the war, but the war right now is on the American people, and the American people, clearly can't see. So, in 1798, the United States stood on the brink of war with France. Interesting, because here we go back again with the same thing. The Federalist Party, which advocated for a strong central government, believed that the Democratic and Republican criticism of Federalist policies was disloyal and feared that aliens or non citizens living in the United States would sympathize with the French during a war. So, this is what you're starting to see right now. Again, these Federalists, and when you think about the Federalist Party, the Federalists are the same people as the Heritage Foundation, the people who bring you Project 2025 and who say they're Christian nationalists. Same type of thing. So it says, as a result, a Federalist-controlled Congress passed 4 laws known collectively as the Alien and Sedition Acts. These laws raised the residency requirements for citizenship from 5 to 14 years. That's because they wanted you to come here and work. Authorized the president to deport aliens, and permitted the arrest, imprisonment, and deportation during wartime. The Sedition Act made it a crime for American citizens to print, utter, or publish any false, scandalous, and malicious writing about the government. And here is where my concern comes and why I probably am not going to be doing much more on this channel about the government. I'll probably read you some stories verbatim, but I won't be offering any commentary because of this particular act. So I'm going to read this to you again so you will understand my concern and so that you will know how to govern yourselves onto interwebs when you talking to people, when you on your telephone, because you know you not alone when you're on the telephone. When you black, you never alone. In any place where people can just, if you're a citizen, this applies to you. So it says the Sedition Act made it a crime for American citizens to print, utter, or publish any false, scandalous, or malicious writing about the government. The laws were directed against Democratic Republicans, the party typically favored by new citizens. The only journalists prosecuted under the Sedition Act were editors of Democratic and Republican newspapers. Sedition Act trials, along with the Senate's use of its contempt powers to suppress dissent, set off a firestorm of criticism against the Federalists and contributed to their defeat in the election of 1800, which was again before slavery, after which the acts were repealed or allowed to expire. The controversy surrounding them, however, provided for some of the first tests of the limits of freedom of speech. So here is the act below. I suggest you get in here and read this, honey, because this will apply to any and all of us. And here it says at the second session where it talks about an act in addition to the act entitled An Act for the Punishment of Certain Crimes Against the United States. This is the section where it talks about that that if any person shall write, print, utter, which means speak, or publish, or shall cause or procure to be written, printed, uttered, or published, or shall knowingly and willingly assist or aid in writing, printing, uttering, or publishing any false, scandalous, malicious writing or writings against the government of the United States or either House of Congress of the United States or the President of the United States with intent to defame the said government or either House of the said Congress or said President, or to bring them or either of them into contempt or disrepute, or to excite a riot against them, or either or any of them, the hatred of the good people of the United States, or to stir up sedition within the United States, or to excite any unlawful combinations therein for opposing or resisting any law. Get this, any law of the United States or any act of the President of the United States done in pursuance of any such law or the powers in him vested by the Constitution of the United States, or to resist, oppose, or defeat any such law or act, or to aid, encourage, or abet any hostile designs of any foreign nation against the United States, their people, or government, then such person being thereof convicted before any court of the United States having jurisdiction thereof shall be punished by a fine not exceeding $2,000 and, not or, and by imprisonment not exceeding 2 years. So I need y'all to read this. I need y'all to read this. And then you probably want to go and clean up your social media. Um, Share it with people. Let our people know it's time to be quiet. It's time to silence yourselves. Like I've been telling y'all, we need to mind our business and not do nothing. This stuff don't have nothing to do with us. We need to keep that same energy, but we also now need to be mindful of what we say because this act has been sanctioned by the Supreme Court, and it means as long as it is used, it can also target, anyone who is exercising free speech, because that speech could be considered sedition and get you in trouble. So please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell notification so that you will be notified each and every time I upload new content as long as I can do it. But it's looking like it's getting about that time to get off the internet, y'all. It's getting to be about that time. Follow me on Odyssey and Rumble and on Instagram. Links are in the description. If you'd like to support the channel financially, my Venmo and my coffee are in the description. This is a labor of love. This channel is not sponsored, and I do not want this channel monetized. I don't want the hassle. So if you'd like to support my work, you can find the links to make a donation or contribution. I'd greatly appreciate it. Lastly, continue to pray, seek the Most High, obey those laws, statutes, and commandments. Be mindful of how you speak everywhere you go because we are always being watched. And lastly, repent for your sins because I don't know what's going to happen, but just ain't looking good, y'all. It's terrible. It's just terrible. It's terrible. I got to take to my bed. All right. Y'all, do what you can to get ready. And that's all I'm going to say. Be aware of your surroundings. Be aware of what you say. Be aware of what you do. Be aware of who you are around. When people say stupid stuff, you better correct them and then get from around them. Don't participate in any conversation that could have you charged with this act and deported or imprisoned or fined or worse, missing. All right, this is Marley K. Love y'all.